The Chief Justice of India says he has seen morphed pictures of himself online, and that has sparked a bigger conversation about how artificial intelligence is being used and misused in the country's legal system. This week, the Supreme Court of India heard a petition asking the government to create rules for how generative AI should be used in Indian courts. It's part of a growing debate around the world. How do we make the most of AI's benefits without letting it twist facts, spread bias, or even invent fake case laws? So, today we're breaking it all down. What the case is about, why the court is worried, and how AI could change the way justice works in India. Now, it all started with a candid remark inside India's Supreme Court during a hearing this week. Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gavai, said, and I quote here, yes, we have seen our morphed pictures too, unquote. That was in response to a public interest litigation, or PIL, filed by lawyer Kartikeya Rawal. He wants the government to create a framework or even a law to regulate how generative AI or Gen AI is used in judicial and quasi-judicial systems. The court did not dismiss the case. Instead, the bench said that it will revisit it in 2 weeks. So, why does this matter? Because we're now at a point where AI is not just writing essays or generating art. It's creeping into the legal system itself. Let's start with a key distinction the petition makes. There is artificial intelligence or AI tools that analyze data, find patterns, and make predictions. Then there's generative AI systems that create new data. They can write judgments, generate case summaries, or even produce fake precedents that don't exist. The petitioner says that this difference is crucial because Gen AI is a black box, meaning that we don't always know how it arrives at its answers. And when applied to something like law, where precedent and accuracy are everything, that is a big deal. So what is the concern here? The petition highlights something called AI hallucinations. That's when AI generates information that looks real but is not. In a legal context, that could mean referencing fake case laws or misinterpreting precedents. The plea warns that this could lead to biased or even arbitrary judgments, which would violate Article 14 of the Indian Constitution guaranteeing equality before the law. In other words, if an AI tool starts inventing legal arguments or reinforcing stereotypes, it's not just a tech issue, it's a constitutional one. Now, the petition also goes beyond hallucinations. It dives into bias because AI systems learn from data, and that data often reflects real-world prejudices. Think about it. If legal records or judgments contain biased language or patterns, the AI learns that bias. Then, when used in judicial work, it could amplify discrimination against marginalized groups. That's what the petitioner calls a feedback loop, where human bias feeds AI bias, which then influences human decisions again. The plea says any use of Gen AI in courts must come with transparent data ownership and accountability mechanisms so that it's clear who is responsible when things go wrong. Now, this debate is not unique to India. Globally, courts and governments are trying to figure out how to use AI responsibly. Let's take a few examples. In the US, some courts have already banned lawyers from using ChatGPT without verifying its output. The European Union is finalizing its AI Act, one of the world's most comprehensive regulatory frameworks. And in China, companies must label all AI-generated content, especially deepfakes. India, meanwhile, has been promoting AI innovation but has not yet set specific rules for how AI can or cannot be used in the judiciary. That's what makes this case crucial. It could push the government to finally define the guardrails. To be clear, Indian courts are already experimenting with technology. The Supreme Court has live-streamed hearings, digitized case files, and even used basic AI tools for transcription. But Gen AI or generative AI, that is another level. If adopted without clear oversight, it could introduce errors, bias, or loss of accountability in decisions that affect millions of people. As CJI Gavai's comment suggests, even the top judges know that they are not immune to digital manipulation. So maybe this petition is arriving just in time. So here is the big question. Can India embrace the benefits of AI without letting it distort justice? The Supreme Court will take up the case again in 2 weeks, and what it decides could set the tone for how technology and law coexist in the world's largest democracy. Because in the courtroom of the future, the question may not be what's the law, but who or what wrote it.